Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to daily current affairs session. So we'll cover the current affairs of today. These are the articles that we are going to cover today. First one, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So this is part of geography as well as internal security we can take, right? Next one, xenotransplantation. So this is part of science and technology. Then aurora borealis. So again this is part of geography or sometimes science and technology as well. Then memory of the world committee for Asia and Pacific. So this is part of culture we can take. So basically this is a separate project, memory of the world project. So this is a sub project, we will discuss this as well, right? Then leopard cat, which is part of environment, right? Again next article, World Wildlife Crime Report 2024. Again this is also part of environment, right? So these are the articles that we are going to cover today, mostly of factual in nature except these two, right? Rest of the things are all factual in nature. We will also see some facts and then practice questions, right? So I hope everything is fine from my side. Yeah, very good evening, Srinath and Oindila. Let's begin with the session. Yeah, let's take the first article, that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So you might have seen even in social media also, there was a lot of articles related to this particular region, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Of course, this is ours, but currently this is being under the administration of Pakistan. So they have illegally occupied it. So this is the context that many of the people there in that region, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, are doing the protests against the government. So that's why this was published in almost all the newspapers. We will come to this what is going on. Before that, let's understand what actually is a Pakistan occupied Kashmir, right? So you all know that we got independence in 1947, right? So certain territories went to Pakistan and certain territories went to India, right? So it remained in India. So this Jammu Kashmir is a region which is dominated by the people who follow Islam, right? But the ruler of this region is from the Hindu, right? So he is Raja of Jammu Kashmir. So you all know that certain regions in India were called as princely states. During the British, there were some provinces under British and certain regions were kept under, given to the kings who ruled historically. So those are called as princely states, where princes has occupied those territories, and Jammu Kashmir is one such territory, right? But after the division, there was according to the Independence Act or even the Mountbatten Plan during the British, the end of the British rule. So there was a choice for all the provinces or all the princely states. Either they can join with the Indian territory or they can join with the Pakistan territory, or they can also remain independent, right? So first, in the first plan there was no plan to be independent, but later in the Indian Independence Act given also one more option, whether if they don't want to join either Pakistan or India, they can also remain independent. So Jammu Kashmir, the Raja of Jammu Kashmir decided to be independent. They don't want to join with India or Pakistan, fine, but the territory is within Indian dominion, right? But so this territory was actually dominant by the people from Islam, right? So that's why Pakistan was claiming, and of course the plebiscite, even though the people are of Islam, but the people who are there are willing to join in Indian territory or remain independent by throwing that Raja away, right? But in this background, what has happened, some tribes in Pakistan, so they have entered India, that is Jammu Kashmir, the princely state that time, they have entered India and they have started occupying it, and Indian army is not there because that is managed by the Raja itself, right? So they have entered and they started illegally occupying this region. So this green color they have occupied because Indian army is not there. As this was recognized by Raja that there is something going on, they are occupying our princely state, so that's why they have asked help from India. And then India and the Raja of Jammu Kashmir signed instrument of instruction where Indian army will be guarding that. Anyway, the Indian army entered, and by that time this green territory was already occupied by the Pakistan tribes, with the help of Pakistan military. By the time Indian army comes, so they have occupied till here, and then Indian army drive them away. So the issue went to the United Nations, right? The issue went to the United Nations, both India as well as Pakistan. So United Nations said that let's make it as a status quo. So don't change any status quo, let it be. Let this territory be remain with the administration of the Pakistan, and this be you take the administration of this, but this will be vacated. This will be decided, whose territory this is will be decided based on the voting of the people who are residing in Jammu Kashmir. So all the people who are residing in Jammu Kashmir will decide to which this territory has to go, whether it is Pakistan or whether it is India. But before going for voting, Pakistan has to be vacated this region, the illegally occupied region of this Gilgit-Baltistan. The Pakistan has to vacate first, then only we will conduct the plebiscite or voting, right? So Pakistan did not vacate it till now, and that's why there is no voting at all. So therefore this Pakistan, the green color one, still remained with the Pakistan illegally, and India is holding this particular region. And this red color one, which is called as Aksai Chin, was illegally occupied by China during 1962 war. We were not able to defeat them. We were defeated in these hands because of lack of coordination, capabilities and all. So this red color one was with the China, and this green color was illegally occupied by Pakistan. So this is the present situation, right? So this is called as Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and at the international forum, United Nations and all, they call it as a Pakistan administered Kashmir, but actually this is a occupied one, illegally occupied one, so we are calling it as a Pakistan occupied Kashmir, right? So this is the situation, and the boundary line between India and Pakistan is line of control. The boundary line between India and Pakistan as of now is line of control, because the border is not yet clearly defined, so that's why we cannot call it as a border, rather it is a line of control. And the boundary with the China is also still disputed, so it is called as line of actual control, LAC, line of actual control, right? So this is the current situation of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now what has happened? So as we have already discussed, this is illegally occupied by Pakistan. This is not their territory, which is taken legally, or legally means by means of some agreement, by means of some plebiscite that has to be happened, but they have occupied illegally without any such legal measures. So that's why they are discriminated this region. Pakistan have some more regions including Punjab, right? And then we have few more, like Sindh region is there, Balochistan is there. So this territory of Pakistan, because this is not theirs, so that's why they are discriminating these people who are residing in this region. They know somewhere in the future it will be disputed and it will go to India, so that's why they are discriminating this people who are residing in this region, right? So that's why this is all about the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now what is happening? Because of the extreme prices, there was a high inflation, there was a lack of food, lack of fuel, right, lack of basic amenities like gas and all. So that's why people in this region, the people who are residing in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, they went for huge protest, and more than 90 people were injured in the protest recently. So they are protesting against the government of Pakistan because they are not providing them proper resources, and then also they are not supporting by providing some basic rights as well. So because of that, there is a lot of violent protest has burst there, right? So that is what happened. The most important thing here, the questions can be framed from this region. So this is the present situation, the geography, right? So this is a Shaksgam, this is Shaksgam Valley, black color one, which was given by Pakistan to China, right? And this is the Siachen region, right? So this region is very, very important. Gilgit is one sub-region in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and Baltistan is the other sub-region. So we are having border with Baltistan, right? So we are having the border with Baltistan. So this geography is very, very important. And of course, yes, what is the situation, what has happened historically, all these things are to understand the situation, right? So this is about the issue that is going on. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? If you have, please do let me know. Next one, xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation. So why this was in news? Because the first recipient of modified pig kidney has passed away, right? So a person got a kidney from the pig. Of course, it is not direct the kidney of the pig. We have modified using the CRISPR-Cas9, the genetically modified, and then the kidney was transferred to the person, right? But he died after 2 months. So that's why it became an issue. And yes, there is a possibility about asking this in the examination, right? Now let's understand what is xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation. Yeah, great. So xenotransplantation means transfusing or transmitting any of the organs, right, or cells, we can say, cells or tissues or organs from animals to the humans, right? Take example here. So we have a pig species. We will discuss this also. Why only pig? Why not other animals? There is a certain significance or certain conditions. So here we are taking the cells or tissues from the animals and we are modifying in the lab. We are slightly modifying because not directly we can transfer. There is requirement of using some genetically modification. So we are taking the cells or tissues from these animals. We are growing in terms of organs and then these organs are transferred to the humans. So you may ask, sir, how we can do it? Will our body accept those things? Yes, there is a high chances of rejection, but it was discovered that the pig organs or pig cells were the most suitable for the humans, right? So it has worked in the laboratory. That's why we are also practically implementing it. So it can be kidney, it can be heart, it can be liver, anything we can transfer from the pig, right? So this is called as xenotransplantation. So don't think that this is a transfer of cells from pig to humans. Rather, it can be any animal. No need to mean only the pig. It can be any animal cell. We can modify in the laboratory, genetically modified, and then we make it enter into the or put into the human's body, right? So that is the definition of xenotransplantation. They will ask you this in the examination. So the first xenotransplantation took place in 1980s, where pig heart was transferred to the humans, right? Of course, it was not very successful, it was failed. But why there is such procedure felt? Why we are doing this? Because we are not donating our organs, right? Do you think that all the organs that the people who died will donate? So it is a very less. There is a requirement of huge organs, failure of kidneys, failure of other parts of the body, but the availability is very less from the humans. So that's why the scientist has identified the need that we need to identify the process where we can shift the animal organs or cells into the human body. So that is the requirement, because demand and supply was not matching. That's the need. They have introduced this, right? Now, why are pigs often used? So why not other animals? We can use buffalo, elephant. Why not? So why only the pig species are being used? This is because there are certain reasons. Scientists have identified that anatomical means the structure of the organs of the human body, as well as physiological parameters, physiologically the shape, size and all. So these things of pigs are almost similar to the humans, right? So the shape, the anatomy, all those of pig organs are the most suitable ones for the humans. So that is the first reason. And also it is a cost effective. This is the cheaper ones. The process, if we are taking the organs or the cells of other animals, it is a very difficult. It requires a lot of expertise and all. But here the breeding of pigs are easy, and also it is a cost effective. So that's why in future, if you want to do, this will be even helping the poor people. So this is the second reason. One is suitability, second one is cost effective, and then easy breeding of pigs as well, right? Also we can modify, genetically modified is easily possible with the pig organs, pig cells. Other animals, it is a very difficult for genetical modification. That's why we are choosing this pigs as the suitable organs or the cells for human transplantation, right? So this is about the xenotransplantation. So what you need to know from here, you need to know what actually the xenotransplantation, what is the process, what are all involved in it, right, and then why only pigs we are taking care, right. So this is the thing that you need to know from this particular article. Any doubts in this? Yeah. So that is about the second article. Next one, and a very important one, Aurora borealis, or we can simply call it as aurora. Aurora borealis is a subtype because it is there in news. It can be called as aurora as well, right. So why this is in news? Because in certain region of India, that is Ladakh region, as well as in the southern hemisphere. So earth is this one, and we have northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So in the Ladakh here, and then in Australia, New Zealand here, we were seeing the aurora, the lights. They are nothing but the lights, the different lights in the sky. We will understand how they occur, why only in that particular regions, what is the phenomena, everything we will understand, right. But just understand that there were some natural light phenomena in the certain regions, right, in Ladakh in India. So that's why we have taken this article. Fine. Now what actually are these auroras? What are these auroras? They are nothing but the bright light in the polar region specifically. So this is earth, so north pole and south pole. So they are natural lights appear as a bright in the sky. The different colors, it can be green, it can be orange, it can be yellow. We will see why the reason also. After knowing the process how they are formed, then we will come to the colors. So why only particular colors, the reason also we will come to know, right. So in the northern hemisphere, so this is earth, in the northern hemisphere, if these auroras are developed, the lights which are developing in the sky, right. So in the northern hemisphere, they are called as aurora borealis. This is aurora borealis in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere, if the same lights occur, those are called as aurora australis. So these are just names given by the scientists. There is no concept involved in this. They just named because of the regions, right. So northern hemisphere, aurora borealis, and then aurora australis in the southern hemisphere. Fine. Now we have discussed what is auroras and what are the different names. But what is the process of occurring? Why they are occurring? Right? Why the colors are being formed and why they are occurring in certain regions? That also we will know. Here in this process, earth has a, first understand, earth has a magnet inside it. So earth also acts as a magnet because there are many magnesium and many other metals inside the earth interior. So that's why it can attract, like how the magnet which you put near the iron, so it can attract. So earth also having the magnet inside. So that creates the magnetic field, you can see here. So earth can create magnetic field, it can attract the certain bodies in the space, right. So this is the earth magnetic field from physics. So this is reason because earth interior we have number of metals which can have the capacity to attract, right. So this is the magnetic field around earth. Now sun often releases certain coronal mass ejections. That means sun has certain heat intensity which can release. So you can see here, sun can release excess heat as well as light. So when they are coming towards the earth's surface, when these heat or charged particles, especially the sun's heat has certain charged particles like electrons and then protons, certain particles are there, charged particles which are coming towards the earth's surface. For example, this is sun and this is the heat generated which has ions and then other charged particles, and this is earth, right. So this is earth. Earth has a magnetic field, right. So most of these charged particles are reflected back by these magnetic fields. So these charged particles are not usually allowed inside of the earth's atmosphere because they are reflected back by the magnetic field. How the magnet reflects back because of the repulsion, the same way these are usually, generally, mostly repelled back by the earth magnetic field, right. So that's why there won't be lights in the most of the time, but whenever there is a high intensity of charged particles, whenever there is a high intensity of charged particles, these are attracted by the magnetic field inside the earth and then they are transferred to the polar regions. These charged particles, when they are very intense, they are attracted by the, they cross the magnetic field and then they go to this near to the magnetic field of earth, interior of earth near, and then they reflected back. So that's why most of the lights, auroras, it can be aurora borealis or aurora australis, mostly they appear in the polar regions itself because these are transferred towards the polar regions by the earth magnetic field, right? And if the intensity is more higher, more here in the sense after repulsion there is a high intensity where they can enter, and more than this there may be sometimes very huge amount of earth heat, coronal mass ejection, those are called as coronal mass ejections. Yes, these are coronal mass ejections. When there is a huge amount of intense solar winds coming to the earth's surface, these can even create in the lower latitudes. The poles are the higher most latitudes, right? So 90 degrees north and south, but because of very huge amount of coronal mass ejection, they can even appear lights in the even the lower latitudes, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, right? So that is the reason, because of the it depends on the sun's heat, how intense it is releasing, right, and the capability of the earth's magnetic field. So that's why it depends on various regions. It can occur in any part of the earth. It is not just restricted to the polar. Based on the intense solar winds that are coming towards the earth, it can happen in any of the regions, right? So that can be asked in the exam. Any doubts in this? So now it is happening in the Ladakh region. Now we are seeing this in the Ladakh region because high intensity solar winds are coming towards it. So these winds can also disturb lot of things by disturbing earth magnetic field, satellites or our electric grids. So this heat, the solar winds may disturb the lot of phenomena on the earth surface, right? So that is about the aurora borealis as well as aurora australis. Any doubts in this? This is a little bit conceptual. Malini, as I have discussed just now, it is not about the polar regions. It is depends on the intensity of sun. It can happen in any part of the earth, but they should have high intensity. But mostly 90% of such things happen in the polar region, but it can happen in any latitude. So there is no restriction at all. Right, Abhi, right. Yes, it happens in the higher atmosphere level. So like we have in the atmosphere, we have troposphere, right? We have stratosphere, we have mesosphere, we have ionosphere. So this happens in the upper atmosphere, ionosphere region, right? In the top skies. So in the ionosphere region, it happens, right? You are correct. Any doubts? Please do respond. For this particular article, I want to ask if there is any doubts. So we have seen what is the context that is happening in northern as well as southern hemisphere, and then we have seen where they, what actually are auroras, right? So different names based on the location, and they are natural lights emitted because of the attraction of the magnetic field by, earth magnetic field of the emerging solar winds, right? So it can occur mostly in the polar regions, but yes, based on the intense solar winds, it can occur in any part of the earth. Any doubts? Great. Next article, that is Memory of the World Committee for Asia and the Pacific. All right. So first we will see what is the context. We will come back to the this particular project. What is the context? Why we are discussing this? Because manuscripts means ancient scripts which are written by hand. Manuscripts means written through hand by the humans, right? We have Ramcharitamanas, Panchatantras, Sahridaya Lokana. So these three were added into the list of Memory of the World project. Memory of the World project, but this has 3 lists. We will see that this was kept in the second list, that is Asia Pacific Regional Register, right? Why they are keeping these names and all, we will see. Just understand the context that 3 manuscripts from India, Ramcharitmanas and then Panchatantra and then Srahodayaloka, Lokana. So these 3 were added into this particular project, right? So we will come back to the context. Let's understand about the Memory of the World program. You all know that historically there are many manuscripts and which are very useful, right? So Aryabhatta has discovered zero and then earth rotation. There is a lot of things which the ancient manuscripts discuss, and we can explore them more, we can prove a lot of science in this as well. So that's why we need to protect the manuscripts, right? It has a very important civilization, important discoveries even some hundreds, thousands of years before. So that's why UNESCO has come up with a project called as Memory of the World program. The Memory of the World program was launched by UNESCO, right? So to protect the manuscripts, ancient medieval manuscripts around the world, not just India, right? And the aim is to preserve them, identify the important knowledge and give awareness to the scientists, people, common people, everyone. So it has 3 lists. Memory of the World program has 3 lists. One is international list, second one is regional list. Now you can see that Asia Pacific is one of the sub-regions under this, right? So international list means they are the most important one, and regional here is the second important, that is Asia Pacific region. The regionally they are important manuscripts, and there are also national register. For each country there are also some list which they will keep, right? So these are the most highest important. Second is regional and then third is national register for each of the country. So that's why these 3 were added to the second one, that is regional, in the Asia Pacific region. So that is the context and about the program. Now let's also know about what actually is a Ramcharitmanas and then who written it. So those are also very important for exam. As these were added, the questions can come from this particular manuscripts as well. So this is a manuscript of 16th century, right? It belongs to the 16th century and it was written by Tulsidas. Factual things you have to remember, it was of 16th century and then written by the Tulsidas, and it talks about the life of Lord Rama. It talks about the life of Lord Rama through poem. So from beginning his birth till the last, so it talks about the life of Lord Rama. So this is also important one, and it is based on the Ramayana. It is based on the Ramayana text. We already have a Ramayana, right? So this is based on the Ramayana, and it was written in Awadhi dialect of Hindi. So Awadhi is a dialect within Hindi which was spoken in Uttar Pradesh. So there are number of dialectics, versions within the language, and Awadhi dialect is part of Hindi and this is spoken in UP, right? So he must be also belong to the UP region, right? So this is of the facts. So it has divided into 7 chapters total. The whole Ramcharitmanas is divided into 7 chapters taken from his birth and becoming till Ayodhya. So it is not covering the whole life of Rama, but it is covering only from birth to the until he becomes the king of Ayodhya. So these are all the very important facts about Ramcharitmanas. Fine. Next one, Panchatantra. Panchatantra is written by Vishnu Sharma, and this exactly we don't know when it was released, and approximately it was before 2500 years. So we are in approximately 2000, right? So it is 500 BC, way back it was written. It was written by Vishnu Sharma, and this Panchatantra consists not a single story but the hundreds of stories, thousands of stories, small stories which talks about the life, like how to manage. It gives certain messages through the stories, right? Small stories. In childhood we used to watch, isn't it, on Sundays early morning, it was displayed in most of the channels, right? So through small stories they will give the life messages, how to be managed, how to be real, how to be truth. So all those things are discussed in the Panchatantra book, right? So it is a story, moral stories book and written by Vishnu Sharma. So this is about Panchatantra. And the last one, Sahradaya Lokana. So this is a poetic one written by Jagannath Pandita Raja. in 17th century. This was written by Jagannath Pandit Raja in 17th century, and it was written in Sanskrit and discuss about the Sahriday, how to be humanistic, sensitive to the others' feelings. So this is a book, right? So these three were added into the list of Memory of the World program at the regional level, Asia Pacific list, right? So these are all factual in nature. Of course, you have to mug up and remember them. Any doubts? Okay. Next article, leopard cat. So you can see here it looks like a leopard, but it is a cat, right? So why we are taken this? The context itself is a very important. They will ask you in the exam. Leopard cat species was discovered for the first time from Pench Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. Maharashtra. Pench Tiger Reserve in Maharashtra. For the first time, they have identified the leopard cat in this Pench Tiger Reserve in Maharashtra. That's why the context. So the context itself may ask recently which tiger reserve was noted with the first time the leopard cat, something like that, right? Now what is this leopard cat? They are normal dwelling cat. Dwelling means residing in forest. They are residing in the forest. Normally the normal cats reside in the urban areas, but this leopard cat reside in the forests, alright? So that is one important, and it looks like leopard. So you can see here, it looks like leopard, that's why it is called as leopard cat. And they are available or habitat in India in these regions, Western Ghats, and then all the Himalayan region and some part of Eastern Ghats, right? So these are the regions, and they are residing beyond India. They are not just restricted to India, but you can see in the most of Southeast Asia they are residing. So in the exam they may ask you, they are restricted to India. No, they are not. So they are also occurring across the other region as well, right? And they are nocturnal as well as carnivoral. So it means they are non-vegetarians and also roaming mostly in the night. Nocturnal means mostly roaming in the night, right? And they are carnivores, that means they are veg plus, they are non-vegetarians, right? So they are carnivores. So these are all the facts which are very important for our exam. And conservation status, they are least concern. That means we are having a huge number of such species, right? And in the CITES convention on international trade on international species, so appendix 1, and then under Wildlife Protection Act we have given the highest protection, that is schedule 1. So it is a least concern. You can see the list also here. Not IUCN classification, not evaluated data deficit, least concern. So this is part of the least concern, right? So that is about the leopard cat. Any doubts? So very factual in nature, nothing much to explain. You just need to know the fact, context, and then where they are residing, and then their special features. So these facts you need to remember, and the conservation status as well. Last article, World Wildlife Crime Report 2024, and this was released by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. So this is the United Nations organization which has released the report. So the context again itself is a very important. So they will ask you who released this report, right? Now what does the report says? We don't need to read those 100 pages, 150 pages of report. That is not relevant. Just whatever is brief importance. So those facts for us are important, right? So in 2015 to 2021, the report studied the data from 2015 to 2021, and among the animals, rhinoceros, you can see here rhinoceros, and among plant species, cedars. So this is a plant species, cedar, right? Cedar and then rhinoceros. Among animals and plants are the most impacted animal and species respectively. Because of the illegal trade, the most impacted ones are rhinoceros and then cedar in the animals and plants. But the largest number of seizures, that means seizure by the police, has happened for corals, followed by crocodilians and then elephants, right? So these three are the most seizure made by the police. And also report says there is an increase in the seizure of animals from 2015 to 19, but in 2020-21 COVID years there was a decline. because lack of trade. But this is reverse for plants, because plants are not the causative factors. So for the plants, there is a sharp increase between 2020 and 21. For animals, 2015 to 2019 seizures increased, but they have reduced during the COVID years. But plants, there was a more seizure in the COVID years. So these are the reports observation. Now what is United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime? So it is nothing but a sub-organization under United Nations which regulate the international trade, illegal trade, which monitor the illegal trade of animals or species and then control them, because they may lead to outbreak of disease also if it is illegally transferred. So they may also lead to outbreak of disease, and then crimes may also increase. So that's why it is regulating. And this was formed in 1997 by merging two organizations, United Nations Drug Control Program and Center for International Crime Prevention. So these two organizations were merged and formed the United Nations Office for Drug and Crime in 1997. And in 2001 they have also given duty to control terrorism as well, because terrorists may also do the trade among the animals to earn money, right, like elephant teeth and all. So this is also included with the duty of United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, right. So it works to educate people and then to control the illegal trade of animals and plant species. So that is about the Abhi International Big Cat Alliance is it is a different program. We have a 5 big cats like tiger, leopard, lion. So this is a separate alliance between the countries which are having the cats, and then some more countries to control the or to protect the big cats, right, like tiger, leopard, cheetah, all those things. Fine. So that is something different. We will discuss when that is there in news. We will discuss it. Don't worry. Right. So those are the articles for today. Now let's see some factual pointers. First one about PM Gati Shakti portal. PM Gati Shakti portal. Ministry of Labour and Employment were boarded. That means this ministry has become part of Gati Shakti program, right? And what is this Gati Shakti program? This is also called as National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity. So this aims to integrate the all transport platforms, railways, roadways, shipways, everything, to promote, to reduce the cost of transportation of the goods, right? So this aim to progress to create infrastructure in the transportation sector. So railways, roadways, all these things are included, including the internet connection, renewable energy, because this transport not just requirement of the vehicles but also require energy, internet, all these things. So everything is included to promote the Gati Shakti plan for enhancing the infrastructure in transportation sector. And there are 9 more ministries, no need to remember. But yes, recently Ministry of Labour became part of it. Next fact, China has become the India's largest trade partner in 2024. Until now, from January 1 till yesterday, China is the largest partner of India. Earlier, USA was the largest partner, but in 2024, China has overcrossed USA, and China is now the India's largest trade partner with a trade value of $118 billion. Billion means 100 crores, $1 equal to 80 rupees. So you can multiply 118 into 100 crores into 80. So that is the amount of trade that we are doing with China, right? So this is the fact about, these are the facts for today's session, right? So that is it all. Now let's solve some practice questions from the subjects, from the topics that we have discussed, right? So let's see who will answer. Yesterday most of we are defeated in my hands, right? So I have framed certain questions and you are not able to answer. Now let's see who will win this context of answering the questions. In India, leopard cats are usually found in the regions of. In India, leopard cats are usually found in the regions of Southern Eastern Ghats, Kutch region, Western Ghats and Himalayas. So what is the answer? Yes, there are multiple answers. Yes, so you can tell those two answers. No Kutch region, no southern eastern Ghats, right? So answer can be both, but here this was taken from some exam, but they have given answer it as a western Ghats, so there may be some issue. So even Himalayas are correct, but there was some southern Himalaya, some word is there. But as of now, both the answers are correct. If these two are there, any of the answer can be correct, right? So yes, D and C both are correct. Not Eastern Ghats, we don't have southern part. We have seen till the Odisha region and the northern Andhra Pradesh. In the southern side, we don't have. So these two can be eliminated, and these two, any of the answers can be correct. Next one, xenotransplantation refers to. Xenotransplantation refers to genome editing technique that aims to replace DNA in humans with RNA in pigs. Genome editing technique that aims to replace DNA in humans with RNA in the pigs. This is application based question. See, let's see who will answer this. Infusion of non-human cells and tissues into the humans. So this is the second option. Replacing the body parts of humans with suitable stem cells from the other humans. So this is the third option. Inserting tethered DNA into humans. So what is the answer for this? So this is wrong. This is not a gene editing technique. It is a process where we infuse the non-human cells, it can be pig or it can be anything, into the human. So answer is B. Yes, Malini, Ranjan, Vinila, Srinath and Oindilla has answered it as correct. Fine, very good. Next question, very simple question. World Wildlife Crime Report 2024 was recently released by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, Trade Records Analysis of Flora and Fauna, Traffic. This is a separate organization established by World Wildlife Fund and IUCN, the International Consortium on Combating Wildlife Crime. Inserting tethered DNA into humans. Tethered means altered. So the DNA, any DNA, we have a DNA, right? So double helical structure. So tethered means after modifying the DNA and entering into the humans. So this is not a technique of xenotransplantation, right? So it can be part of CRISPR-Cas9 technology and all, right? So what is the answer for third question? Yes, you are correct, most of you. Abhi, Srinath, Ranjan, Vinila, Malini, Oindala. It was released by United Nations Office on Drug and Crime. Next question about aurora borealis or auroras. Auroras are caused by the interaction of charged particles from the sun with Earth's atmosphere. With the Earth's atmosphere. So here one point we missed. Whenever there is a charged particles interacting with the Earth atmosphere, based on the type of gases, we have oxygen, we have neon, we have carbon dioxide, number of gases are there in Earth atmosphere. So whatever the gas that was interacted by these charged particles, based on the presence of gas, the color also changes. For example, oxygen gives yellow color. So similarly, different gases give different colors. You no need to remember. Just understand that because of various gases, we are getting various colors, right? So that you need to know. We have forgot to explain that. So yes, we got this point. So they are caused by interaction of charged particles from sun with Earth's atmosphere. The natural display of light in the sky is only visible on Earth. So this is the second option. So this light display is only specific to Earth, they are saying. Now think application based. Find the logic to answer. So what is the answer? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So what is the answer? I am giving you time, try to answer it. First one, yes, it is caused by interaction of charged particles from sun, whatever releasing with the earth's atmosphere. So first option should be there, right. So you can eliminate two options. Now these natural lights are only visible on earth, they are saying. Do you think we can conclude something? Do you think that scientists has reached to the Jupiter? Do you think the scientists has reached to the Saturn? Do you think we have reached to the outside of our solar system? No, we don't know. So how can this statement be justified? So nobody can say that it is only visible on earth. We did not reach. So the statement itself is not justified. So we don't know the thing, such statement should be wrong. So they are visible in other planets also, that was proved. But anyway, still we don't know. So whenever there is a ambiguity in the statement, you can correct, mean 100% you cannot say that this statement is true. So answer is A, 1 only. You all were defeated. Everyone have answered it as C. So the answer was actually A, right? So only Ranjan, Madan has answered it as correct. Great. The last question for today, consider the following statements regarding Ramcharit Manas. Ramcharit Manas. Yes, Srinath, 4 is A. It is authored by Kabir Das. It is authored by Kabir Das. Ramcharit Manas, first statement. It is composed in a Awadhi language. Second statement. It is considered as the work belonging to the Saguna school of Bhakti movement. So there are two schools, Saguna and Nirguna. In the Bhakti movement, Saguna and Nirguna. Sarguna means worshipping the God with a form, like Lord Balaji, Lord Shiva, we can see on photos, or we can keep the stone and we can pray. And Nirguna, those which are without any form, we don't know the physical form and we pray it, like Lord Indra, right. So ancient times, whenever there is a form and we worship, it is called as Saguna, and when there is no form, that is called as Nirguna, right. So this is the form. So it is authored by Kabir Das, they are saying. So first statement is eliminated and it was done by Tulsidas, right. So first statement is wrong and we got the answer. You no need to even take the stress. But anyway, it is composed in Awadhi language, a dialect of Hindi. And then yes, it belongs to the Saguna school. Ram is worshipped with the form, right. So answer is C. Yes, all of you have answered it as correct. So those are all for today. We have solved the MCQs also along with discussion of the factual points. So have a great evening. Thank you.